How to successfully grow tomatoes in hot climates. In general, there aren't different water or fertilizer needs in hotter climates when growing tomatoes. Tomatoes need a lot of water and fertilizer no matter where they grow, no matter what kind of climate. If you're going to grow tomatoes in containers, you need a very rich soil, a heavy peat-based soil with a lot of organic matter. Cherry tomatoes are the best variety to grow in hot climates. But you can grow heirlooms in the subtropics, too. Many people like to grow heirloom tomatoes, which is more challenging in hotter climates because they're not resistant to most of the wilts and fungi that tomatoes are susceptible to. If you want to grow heirlooms in a hotter climate, you have to be much more careful about your antifungal programs, as well as your watering and overall plant hygiene. The trick to growing tomatoes in containers is consistency. In the ground, if you skip a day watering, it's no big deal. In a container, you don't have that much room for error, so you really want to stay on top of watering and you really want to make sure it's consistent so your fruit doesn't split. And that means probably watering every day or every other day at the very least, especially as they get bigger, no matter what the climate. Because you want to make sure that they have a steady supply of water. Sometimes you get the occasional wild and there's nothing you can do about it, and if it's a viral wilt you have to kill the plant. Pests, too. The most common mistake gardeners make with tomatoes is probably using a container that's too small. Not making sure that the plant isn't getting a bacterial or fungal disease is big. Watering inconsistently is a big problem too. It depends on where you're located. In the true subtropics or tropics, you grow during the winter. In transition zones, you grow in the shoulder season, like from February through April rather than from June through August. If you use self-watering containers, they've got to be big. A mature producing tomato plant is a very large vigorous plant. You need a minimum of 10 gallons per plant, preferably more than that. So if you can do a 15 or 20 gallon container per plant, you'll get a much better harvest than you would with a smaller container. You should leave them in full sun all day. Tomatoes need all sun all the time, as much sun as you can possibly give them. Even in the tropics. A lot of people think you can't grow good heirloom tomatoes in the tropics or the subtropics, but you can. You can grow beautiful heirloom tomatoes in the subtropics, it's just a lot harder. It's a lot more work. If you want a really good harvest and you're new to container gardening and tomatoes, the best thing to do is go out and buy a really resistant breed, like one of Burpees, a Big Boy or a Better Boy, even a Brandy Boy. They'll produce very well and they're not that hard to grow, they're a vigorous plant. Remember, a tomato is actually a tropical plant. They're really from the New World. So they're used to this, they can do it. It's just that we've bred them over the years for characteristics that make it a little more difficult. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more interesting videos. And please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm.